Hi, Beck Mac here for Popside, and I am in Where the Wild Things Are. I got that right. And sure, this is a bookstore, a fabulous kids bookstore down here in downtown West End next to Avid Reader. But today, it is also a space for contemporary art, and we have a fantastic piece up here. And here's the artist, Jackie Ryan. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Now, I love your shirt. You look fantastic. How are you feeling about having your work? How do you feel about having your work here today?
I'm really pleased. I'm a big fan of Avid Reader and Where the Wild Things Are. Avid owns both of these stores, so it's really, really nice to see a lot of this stuff about Burger Force. A lot of these scenes were shot around town, around Brisbane locally, so it's nice to see it making its way back into a Brisbane environment.
Into the urban landscape. Now, this work is called Nerd Rage. Can you talk us through it? It looks sort of like terrifying but mildly exciting at the same moment, I've got to say.
Exactly what I was hoping. So to explain it, I need to explain Burger Force a little. Yes. So Burger Force Comics, which this is a scene from, Burger Force is a pop culture detective agency. So they basically, when pop culture becomes dangerous, the agents from Burger Force step in and help set things straight. So if, for example, you had a mad scientist cloning Audrey Hepburn, or if you had a failed comedian killing people with puns, or if, for example, you had a setting in Volume 3 of Burger Force where you had a dating agency scam with lonely hearts nerds, and that passion and energy being harnessed for bad, and or they were having to avenge someone that had been wronged and prove their love, then you would have this scene, which is part of Burger Force Volume 3.
Fantastic. Well, you're strangely turning me on with that idea, let me tell you, Jackie. Now, a bookstore is such an ideal place to find you because you are an author. You wrote a book about World Expo 88. In fact, you're Dr. Expo. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, well, I did the doctorate so I could lean up against bars and ask people to call me Dr. Expo. Expo 88 was my thesis. It was a fairly significant cultural event in Brisbane. A book hadn't been written about it, which seems strange since it's spoken about as something that was Brisbane's coming of age. So I thought, well, I'll write the book, but you do not want to write a book about Expo in this town and get it wrong. So I did the thesis first, and that begat the book, We'll Show the World, Expo 88.
Fantastic. Now, how does your craft of writing sort of segue or influence your visual art practice?
Yeah, well, it's always the writing usually comes first, so storyline first, but way back in another life where I also did indie short films and music videos, I was very used to setting images to music. So with Burger Force, what I was doing was setting images to writing. So and as with videos, where you're hoping that enhances and adds to the story in some way while respecting the original artist's vision. In this case, that was less important because I am the original artist, so I get to respect my own vision anyway. But this gets to add to words by having not just pictures but incredible performance talent. So in this one we have Caroline Dunphy, who's an actor and director about town. We have Jonathan Oxlade, who's a very well known illustrator and production designer among other things. Elliot Bledsoe, who's an arts person about town. Tim Bugler, who's an editor. So this one we get to have a lot of people bring their talent and experience to it. We have people like the boys from Brief, so Mark Winwill and Fez Fahana, and Lisa Falafi from Hot Brown Honey. So circus, dance, and theatre talent. Remy He from Crazy Rich Asians and the new Spider-Man, he's one of the stars of it. So everybody, all these different talents, all these different platforms get to merge together as one and make the text come alive.
Fantastic. And within this image, that is in a car park somewhere in Spring Hill, is that right? So you're also referencing Brisbane's modernist architecture?
I am, yeah. A lot of it's set on location around Brisbane. So yeah, this is one of James Beryl's masterworks from 1959, 1960. The car park itself, Wickham Street on Spring Hill. It's not often I recommend people go visit a car park, but you should go and visit that one. It's beautiful. So a lot of the aesthetic of Burger Force is very mid-century modern, and there's a lot of that around Brisbane. If you hunt, if you look hard enough, there's not everything's been pulled down. Some things made it through.
We can use your work as references to find the spots.
Yeah, little codes, yes. Did a Burger Force tour.
And finally, Trace is about taking contemporary art out of the galleries and into the public space. How do you feel about how that will influence the way the viewer interprets or sees your work?
I actually think it's a natural homecoming because so much of Burgerforce was out and about and in parts of the Brisbane community. So now it's made its way back into Avid Reader and Where the Wild Things Are, which is an incredibly significant part of the Brisbane community. So the circle is complete.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And it's so good to see this in the flesh. And you too can. So come down to the store, check out the books, but of course, look at the art. So thank you, Jackie.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.